How to tell if a tie rod is faulty. The tie rod is a vital component of the steering system that connects the steering rack to the wheels. If it fails, steering precision is lost, and with it, your control over the vehicle. Symptoms of a faulty tie rod: uneven tire wear. Excessive wear on the inner or outer edges of the tread may indicate misalignment caused by a worn tie rod. Unusual noises when turning. Creaking, clicking, or knocking sounds often indicate play in the tie rod joint, usually caused by wear or lack of lubrication. Loose or delayed steering. If the car's steering feels sluggish or unresponsive, it could be a sign that the tie rod no longer holds the alignment properly. Poor handling on uneven roads. A loss of steering precision, especially when driving over bumps, suggests tie rod wear. Warning: if your car shows any of these signs, it's time to check the tie rods immediately. The whole world of car parts in your pocket. Download the Autodoc app. How to diagnose tie rod wear yourself. You don't always need a mechanic to spot a bad tie rod. Here's how to test it at home. Start by lifting the front of the car using a jack or a lift and make sure it's safely supported. Grab the wheel at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions and shake it side to side in the horizontal plane. If you feel free play only in the horizontal direction, there's likely wear in the tie rod or its ball joint. If the wheel moves in all directions, or you hear clicking sounds when spinning it, it might be a worn wheel bearing instead. A simple test like this can help you identify steering problems early and take action before they become critical. Visual and functional tie rod check. With the wheel removed, inspect the tie rod assembly, the outer end near the steering knuckle and the inner rod connected to the steering rack. Start with the dust boot. It should be free of cracks, holes, or contamination. A damaged boot allows dirt and grit to get in, causing the joint to wear out quicker. Move the outer tie rod by hand. Any visible damage, looseness, or clicking shows that it's worn and should be replaced. To check the inner tie rod, gently rock it after removing the boot if needed. If you notice free play or clicking sounds, or that the part rotates too easily, this indicates wear in the internal joint. Both the inner and outer tie rods must offer consistent resistance and show no sign of play. How to replace a tie rod yourself. Start by safely raising and securing the front of the vehicle. Remove the wheel to access the tie rod assembly. Loosen the lock nut securing the tie rod end. Disconnect the outer tie rod end from the steering knuckle. Use a puller if needed to avoid damaging parts. When removing the tie rod end, counting the number of turns or measuring the thread length will help maintain alignment. Loosen or remove the clamps on the dust boot and slide it back to expose the inner tie rod joint. Unscrew the inner tie rod from the steering rack using the proper tool. Inspect all components. Install the new inner tie rod and tighten to the manufacturer's specified torque. Refit the boot with new clamps. Screw on the new outer tie rod end using the instructions from earlier. Tighten the lock nut and reconnect it to the steering knuckle. Reinstall the wheel and lower the vehicle. final step, visit a garage for a professional wheel alignment. It's essential to do this after any steering repairs. A worn tie rod can mess with your steering, wear out your tires, or even make you lose control. The good news? With a few tools and some time, you can check the part and replace it before it gets dangerous. Enjoyed the video? Give us a like, subscribe, and tell us your own tie rod story below.